But yes, our movie today is the 1941 film The Reluctant Dragon, a friendly, charming, happy-go-lucky depiction of Walt Disney Animation Studios. Released at possibly the worst possible time. And I'll get into that.
Well, I was going to say, why?
I'll get into that.
Why?
Are we ready?
I don't know. Let me buckle up.
Buckle up.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, The Reluctant Dragon. So what exactly is The Reluctant Dragon? You might think it's something along the lines of like an hour-long film, a cute dragon, a story to tell, faraway land, this and that.
No.
Well, yes.
No.
But
no.
also no.
That's not what this movie was about.
You are like 1/4 correct.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah, really.
Part of the movie is that story, but the other 3/4 of this movie is essentially a tour of the then new Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, California. So what you have here is Disney's first live-action animation hybrid that they would do a bunch of different ones, you know, in the years to come, like Mary Poppins and the Three Caballeros. This is the first one.
What
for
year
them
did
to
this
do
come out?
1941.
Okay.
We tag along with the director. He's not actually a director. He's a humorist, Robert Benchley, as he tries to sell Walt Disney on a short story to adapt called The Reluctant Dragon.
Except he really didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. His wife was so pushy.
Yeah.
Like,
Before we get into that, can we discuss, like, they had a warning.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I was
did.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
It was only 8 seconds. I couldn't read the whole
I
thing.
took a snapshot on my
It's the
phone.
same.
I
It's
was
the same
trying
one
to
every-
pause it, but I know I can never get through the whole thing.
yeah.
8
All right.
seconds isn't long enough. Basically, it's racially insensitive. That's all you need to know.
You see that warning? That's
They'll
what you
show
can
a
bank on.
lot.
Yeah. Now, why was this released at the worst possible time? Well, has anyone got any ideas? It's because all throughout the tour we see this happy-go-lucky lifestyle of what it's like to work at Walt Disney Animation Studios, but in the real world,
They were striking, right?
they're very good. This film happens to be the same. It's released during the Disney animator strike of 1941. So you had staff members on strike picketing the film's premiere with signs that attacked Disney for unfair business practices, low pay, lack of recognition, and favoritism. And at one theater, you even they were holding up signs that said The Reluctant Disney with Disney's head on a dragon, like sign. Yeah. So, if you went to go see this film, it was a bit conflicting experience. You're outside the theater and there's picketing and everything wrong going on at Disney, and then you step inside and you weren't expecting this, but everything's great in Disney. Everybody loves their job, and we're having a great time.
Yeah, that's how they make it look.
It's essentially like 90 minutes of like Disney propaganda, which they didn't really intend for it to be, but it turned out to be that way.
Why didn't they just
Everything's
wait
fine.
to release it until, like, the strike and stuff was over?
I don't know.
I assume because
Is
of
that
the
why-
following movies that were coming out that were
Probably.
in this film.
Yeah,
Is
they
that why
had a lot of
named it The Reluctant Dragon, to throw people off and make them think they're going to see an innocent Disney film?
I think if I had to guess, I think The Reluctant Dragon is supposed to be like twofold, like the
Him
story, but
trying
also
to-
Robert Benchley's kind of
Yeah.
reluctant to sell
Right.
the story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of audiences, though, how was it received? Not great. A good portion of critics and audiences were put off by the fact that the film was not a new Disney animated feature, similar to the prior hits like Snow White and Pinocchio. They also weren't too fond of watching what was basically a collection of 4 shorts, which
Yeah.
that sounds like us, really, and various live action segments. So they went to the theater thinking that they're seeing a new Disney animation feature. They get into the theater, and the first 90 minutes of it are just a behind the scenes tour of Disney, which
Yeah.
is cool, but
I thought
It's
it was cool.
I thought it was
liked
cool
it.
too, but I could see back then being disappointed.
Yeah.
But it wasn't universally hated. There were others in support of the film that praised the behind-the-scenes aspect of it. They thought it was clever and unique and something different that you don't really see all that much. I really don't think you see that all that much even today. Like, a lot of behind-the-scenes tours of studios are kind of reserved, and they don't really show you the animation process.
Yeah.
So even in that regard, I think it's kind of interesting. But all in all, financially, it was not a success. It cost $600,000 to make, and in return, it only made $960,000. So, a profit, but not by that much. And in the United States and Canada, it didn't even make its money back. $460,000 in total.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, so it benefited from.
I wonder if that's because of the strike and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it because I think there were people who maybe were turned off, who maybe they went to the theater and there's all these people picketing and they
Yeah.
don't want to give the money to go
Support
see.
them.
Yeah. Also, most of the animators that you see in this film were actually hired actors to portray animators.
Oh.
Whether it's due to the strike or not, it's not really known. But there are some animators, real Disney animators, who do appear. Walt, obviously, but you also have Ward Kimbrell and Norm Ferguson, and then you have the voice of Donald, Clarence Nash. He shows up as well too.
Clarence
Wait,
Nash.
Clarence Nash.
who were the other two? Were they the ones that were in that baby short?
No,
Oh, because those
They're-
guys looked pretty convincing.
They do.
they're towards the end
Okay.
with Goofy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I also think is kind of neat at the time is that throughout the film we get a little preview of characters who are coming up in different films,
Yeah.
like right around the corner. We see some characters from Dumbo,
The
Bambi,
music from Dumbo.
the music from Dumbo as well. Lady
Casey
and
Jr.
Lady and the Tramp.
And there was some Peter Pan stuff in there too.
Yeah,
And there was also Fantasia stuff.
yeah, which is kind of cool because that's like kind of what Pixar does now.
Yeah.
Where like they usually put an Easter egg of like a character who's going to be in like an upcoming
Right.
movie. So, and then finally, you want to hear some weird censorship? So, watching this film, it's pretty clear that there are several unfavorable depictions. I think it's easy to say. But at the time, it's called the Hays Code, which is what it was like industry guidelines for censorship, and it only lasted till like 1968. They only had one issue with the film, and that was that the Reluctant Dragon had a belly button. And they didn't like that, so they had to go back and take out the belly button on the Reluctant Dragon.
What?
Yeah,
It's
couldn't
a
show
fucking
that.
belly button.
Didn't want to
Do you hear-
sexualize a dragon? Is that?
I guess
Or
so.
belly
I
button
mean-
sexual.
I don't know.
I mean, the statue from Fantasia just has titties out. I mean, they're not. There's no nipples, but like,
Right.
she's not wearing anything.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
titties out
True.
in this one too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True.
Where were they in
Belly button's
Fantasia?
where they draw the line.
Yep.
Where were they in Fantasia? Where we saw the ghoul titties?
Oh
I didn't have any
yeah.
problem with that.
Nope. Ghoul titties.
All right, so let's get into the actual film. The Reluctant Dragon, the big feature show with 1,000 surprises, is what it said on the poster. For the movie.
Ooh.
I think so. Released June.
Wow.
Released June 27th, 1941, rated G, and has a runtime on Disney Plus of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 56 seconds.
It's a little too long.
So it's rated G,
Rated G. What?
and then it gives a warning.
Right?
For great.
Yeah.
Interesting.
G for
The warning
great.
is now, today. They didn't have that warning back then.
Right, but
No, but he's saying, why is it rated
you
G
mean
now?
it's
it's rated G.
changed.
Changed the rating then if it's going to
Yeah.
be culturally
How does
inappropriate.
that work? Do they re-rate things? Is that like a thing that
I
happens?
get. I mean, they have a warning on it now,
I
so
don't know if they ever re-rate anything. Like, if they go back and say, like, this is actually...
like
Yeah.
PG-13
Yeah.
or
Well, the warning's
interesting.
probably in place of having to do any of that.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's a whole big production, you know?
And I feel like that kind of stuff, the rating goes by language and like nudity and violence and stuff there, which there wasn't really any of.
It's
Yeah, I
true.
guess you're
There's no...
right.
Yeah, there are certain, like,
it was
amounts of, like, those categories that you can have to keep it
Yeah.
in a certain rating. But you're right, there is no cursing, there is no violence. So.
Yeah. So just because something's culturally inappropriate, I don't know if it would change the rating. I don't
guess
know.
you're
I don't
right.
work for the rating bureau, whatever
I mean,
you call
smoking
them.
can changes rating. So
That's true.
they're just the
Yeah.
act of having cigarettes in your.
I think
They
it's
have
rated
any
G for the
cigarettes?
time.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
When he's outside the animation building.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Directed by Alfred Worker for the live action scenes and Hamilton Lusk for animation. Released by RKO Radio Pictures. Starring Robert Benchley, Francis Gifford, Buddy Pepper, and Nana Bryant.
Oh, so Robert Benchley's a real person.
He is a real
Can
person.
I ask why he looks so familiar?
I think he looks kind of like older Walt.
He does.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
'Cause
like, especially
I'm
when
looking
it's-
at this guy. I was like,
When they do the older like drawings, when they do the drawings of Robert Benchley, he looks like older Walt.
To me,
Like,
Yeah.
he didn't look like this, but he reminded me of Mr. Banks.
Yes.
yeah, that too.
Like his personality. For
Yeah.
some reason.
When I finally saw Walt, I was like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting him to be that young.
Me neither.
Just because I'm just so used to like
Yeah.
the Walt Disney World Walt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. It was weird.
Yeah, it was so bizarre.
Also, his posture, like the way he was sitting.
I know.
With
I was
his
like,
leg
wait,
folded,
is
I'm
his
like,
leg crossed
yeah.
or folded?
I know. I was like, what are you doing? It was kind of funny.
So lax.
Before we open up, we get the dreaded Disney Plus disclaimer warning about negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. I think it's appropriately earned for this one for certain parts of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one thing as I was starting my sentence, and I was gonna
and
say.
then it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh, I feel like it was a little hard to see, but then that one thing, it was like,
Like smacks you in the
I
face.
looked at Alex. I was like, yo, holy shit.
What?
Oh, we'll get to it.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Also, before we open up, we get the opening credits, which normally we don't mention because there's really nothing worth noting in them, but it's because it's a first full-length feature for Disney where the voice actors are actually credited. Usually Disney doesn't really care about that much, and you don't see any of them mentioned.
Yep.
But we get a full mention of them. We get a full mention of the directors and the staff.
With their little caricatures, and I loved it.
And their signatures as well.
I think they only did that because of the strike, and then trying to show appreciation. Now.
I don't know, because
Yeah,
the impression I kind of get was that like this was mostly made before the strike really like
took off.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so I think a lot of this is just really coincidental.
Okay.
The opening credits also finish with a message for the audience. This picture is made in answer to many requests to show the backstage life of animated cartoons. P.S. Any resemblance to a regular motion picture is purely coincidental. Which I feel like is them basically telling you this isn't like a film. This is like a documentary. Yeah. We got your money.
Regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We got your money. Get out. So we open up with in black and white with a couple reading a fairy tale story poolside. This is Mr. and Mrs. Robert Benchley. Mrs. Benchley is reading a short story called The Reluctant Dragon to her husband, Robert Benchley.
Who is flapping around like a baby bird in the pool shooting ducks
with...
It was like darts.
Yeah, a little suction cup dart.
Yeah, but it was just so weird. I was like, why is he so childish?
Right.
How'd you like his bathing suit?
Oh, the stripes.
He's
right?
like a full-on sailor with his with a hat too.
Yeah.
Robert Benchley, the real Robert Benchley, was a humorist and comedian best known for his contributions to The New Yorker, where his essays would frequently feature topical and absurdist humorous takes. He would also make the jump to Hollywood, where his short film How to Sleep would win the 1935 Academy Award for Best Short Subject. I don't know for sure, but if you watch How to Sleep, it feels a lot like the How to Goofy shorts.
Oh, okay.
He's got a narrator. He's also he's the narrator, and he's acting out the scenes, and like stuff is going wrong in the picture while the narrator straight face narrates it.
Right.
Very similar to the Goofy shorts, which we'll see later as well. Mrs. Benchley is played by Nana Bryant. She appeared in over 100 films during her time.
What's her name?
Nana is her name.
What kind of a name is Nana? It means grandmother.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I'd be so pissed.
Most notably, she appeared in Harvey, Brewster's Millions, and The Adventures of Tom Sawyer in 1938.
I love Tom Sawyer.
She was Mrs. Thatcher. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Benchley finishes reading up The Reluctant Dragon and is annoyed at her husband's lack of interest and attention. She then comes up with the idea, out of the blue, of pitching the idea to Walt Disney and selling this book to him. Now,
whose book is it, though?
I was going to say, I don't know how this works, but I don't think you can just pick up a book from like a bookstore and sell it to a studio and make a profit off it. Like it's not yours. You can't.
You don't
like,
have the rights
Right.
to it.
Right.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out, like, did he write it? Did someone in their family write it?
The only thing that they say is that the book itself belonged to their nephew,
Maybe
but it's not his.
Maybe
Like-
they mean that the nephew.
But then they still don't have the right to sell his stuff.
No, it's a
Unless
real,
he like passed away or something.
Yeah.
it's a real children's story. It's from 1898. Kenneth Graham is the one who came up with it. So like, it belongs to someone. Like you can't just like bring it to Disney and like, hey, give me some money. I think you should like make
you
this.
should make this
Back
in a motion
then,
picture or
copyrights were
whatever.
not that serious. So
I
Wow,
guess
Yeah, but
that's
so.
out
then
there.
he did we know that he wrote Mary Poppins, like, and he needed to. I mean, he didn't write Mary Poppins. He made the movie, and he needed the rights from the book from.
yes.
Yeah.
What year was that though?
Travers. I don't remember the year, but his kids were young. He was young because his kids were kids.
Robert is hesitant to do so, as he hardly knows Walt, and he's sure that Walt hears a million ideas every day, and he's not just going to listen to his idea when he just comes walking into his lot. And he declares that he's not going, and that's final. His pool float gives out from underneath him, and he falls in the pool. Fast forward to the couple in the car now, and it appears Robert has begrudgingly agreed to do this against his will. They arrive at Walt Disney Productions as we hear, for the first time, It's Whistle While You Work is playing in the background.
Yeah.
From Snow White. It actually sounded really nice too.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As their car turns into the lot, they are stopped by a security guard blowing his whistle. Security guard asks him if he has an appointment, to which they say no, but they want to see Mr. Disney. The guard asks for a name and he walks off. And when Robert gets out of the car, his wife informs him that he'll be pitching this alone.
Ah, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just flat out ditches him and just goes to shopping.
I'm going
If
shopping.
she wanted him to do it so badly, don't you think she should be there? Like, maybe he could be like, yeah, I did it, and just like, I don't know, dicked around all day. I mean, that's kind of what he did.
Yeah.
Well, the security guard returns and he gives Mr. Benchley his pass to enter the studio, so it worked out. He got an appointment with Walt.
Is it that easy? Do you think it was really that
yeah.
easy?
Yeah, just go to the studio now. Just say I
They
want
must
to meet
have
with.
knew his name.
Yeah. I want to meet with Bob. I
Bobby
almost said Bob Iger. Wow. I want to meet with Bobby Paycheck.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right,
Chapstick.
we'll get you an appointment right now.
Bobby Cheapskate.
Robert walks the lot, and we see the iconic street sign showing in one direction is Mickey Avenue and the other is Dopey Drive. This signpost was built specifically for this movie, and was supposed to be removed when they were done, but
How could you remove that?
well, they didn't, because it's still there to this day, and you can go see it if you want.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
we actually looked this up, though, yesterday. You can't just go. You have to... They only offer tours of the studio during certain times of the year, and you have... Like, obviously, you need...
Is
like,
it still like an operating studio?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and the sign's still there and everything, and
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But you can't just, like, get up and
Pull
go.
up and-
Yeah, like...
yeah.
But most studios, you need, like a time... Like,
Yeah.
a reservation or whatever. But they just had a special for the D23 people.
yeah, it's like now until November something where they're doing tours of Walt Disney
Yeah.
Animation
Wow.
Studios.
And I'm a D23 member. I could have gotten us tickets if we were going.
You let
Aw.
us down.
I'm sorry. We don't have a California trip planned.
Yeah, after watching this film,
Yeah, I
like
forgot
it,
it's California.
it's kind of I kind of want to go. Like that would
Yeah.
be cool.
I think
Next
that
time
would
we
be
go to California, I'll have to look into that.
cool. Yeah.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Next, we meet our glasses-wearing, no-nonsense young studio Nazi.
Oh,
by the
he's
name,
so annoying.
name
Yeah,
of
like-
Humphrey.
He's literally a Nazi.
Literally.
He's played by Buddy Pepper, which is a great stage name. Not a lot of acting credits to his name. He would only appear in like 16 works, but he's more known in the music industry where he was a songwriter and composer. He wrote several songs for the films Mr. Big in 1943, and he wrote the title song for the Oscar-winning film Pillow Talk in 1959. He was also a vocal coach for a lot of stars, including Judy Garland.
That's nice.
Yeah, not impressed. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
His name's cool.
He does have a cool name, Buddy Pepper. Humphrey informs Richard that he has been assigned to escort him to Mr. Disney's office, to which Richard is seemingly bothered by. The two walk the lot as Humphrey reads off facts.
Wait, Richard?
Did I say Richard?
Yeah.
Oh, Robert. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Wow. Let me try that again. I did write Robert.
Oh, you mean Richard?
I did write Richard, yeah.
I hope all your notes.
Oh my
are...
god, I wrote Robert like 3 times.
You mean Richard?
No, I wrote Richard.
You said Robert just now.
I know.
You said I wrote Robert like 3 times.
His name is Robert, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, there's Richard all over here.
There's Richard over
Wow.
there.
Wow, there's dicks everywhere.
I was like, what a dick.
What's up, Dan?
Humphrey informs Robert that he has been assigned to escort him to Mr. Disney's office, to which Robert seems bothered by. The two walk the lot as Humphrey reads off facts about the studio to Robert.
51 acres, did you know?
I did not know that.
That's what he said. He said
I
that in
know.
the...
I know. That's
Oh, I thought you were looking it up.
no,
Did you-
no. I was just being facetious.
You got any other ones that he said?
I think that he said something about the soil being like
Oh,
mildly like something, and then
Acidic?
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't,
sulfuric? No.
no, it wasn't.
It's something weird.
Yeah, and then they have heavy deposits of like gypsum and something.
And 2 other things, I think.
Yeah.
Gypsum
He
was
was
the only
talking
one I remember.
about-
On-time delivery is the soil.
Did he talk about something solar?
Maybe. I don't know. I stopped
there was
listening to this guy.
something environmentally friendly that he did mention.
This guy
Maybe I
Mm.
just
I don't
maybe
remember.
it was just wishful thinking.
This guy started talking. I stopped listening to him about halfway through. I got
poor
very
guy.
No.
He was annoying.
Not paying attention to his surroundings, Humphrey doesn't notice that Robert stops following him and detours into the art class building, his first stop of the day.
But like he stops and like okay, so no, he goes in because he sees this woman go in and he thinks that she's the model. But she's
I didn't pick up on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was a nude.
he sees
Oh.
this beautiful woman go in and he's like, ooh, animation class. Oh, they must be drawing this gorgeous
And
woman
that's why he was
naked.
peeking in the window.
Yes, that's why he was being a creep. And then this
Her.
yeah, and then this guy
Yeah.
came out
He really
and
was pervy the whole time.
yeah, and then this guy came out and he like makes conversation with him, this animator. This is where the smoking is.
Yeah.
And he was like, and like I'm like sitting there, I'm like, who is this guy? And you're like, he's no one.
Well, yeah,
And
he's just an actor.
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, so why are we like specific? Like it was just so like it was almost pointed, like the way they like.
Oh, that makes us okay. That makes
Yeah.
this make more sense then. All right.
Yeah.
As he looks inside the window, he's caught off guard by an employee, like you said, on a smoke break. When he enters, we see that the real life model is not a person. It's not this woman that he thought it was.
Right.
It's an elephant,
Yes.
giant elephant.
With a hat.
Yeah, with a hat.
And he falls over and a skeleton falls on him. Like, why are you making such a ruckus?
Yeah, and why is there a
Because he was
skeleton
trying
in
to
there?
peek without any notice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peeping Tom.
Yep.
that's right.
Creeper.
The animators are studying the elephant in order to get a better understanding of how they behave and how they look. We look over the shoulder of one of the artists and see that he's drawing an elephant that kind of looks like Mrs. Jumbo.
Dumbo. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, or Dumbo maybe.
Yeah, I said that to Alex.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Dumbo's mom.
That whole little thing reminded me of what's that thing at Animal Kingdom where you draw?
Animation experience.
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Mis-
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was.
They go to another artist, and this artist has drawn an elephant that apparently is too dumb looking.
Yeah.
Mr. Benchley
So
seems
mean.
to
And
disagree.
that elephant is in
Dumbo.
Jungle Book.
Oh, Jungle Book.
Okay, it
Yes,
kind of
with
looked
the
like
very
Jungle
low
Book
eyes.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Benchley seems to disagree though. He takes his time to shit all over elephants.
Yeah.
I know, right? That was so
Can
mean.
you believe that this giant animal with the brain has the brain the size of a walnut?
Yeah.
First of all,
Just
that
a
animal is smarter than you fucker.
just a big, dumb, stupid looking elephant
I
with
know.
a walnut sized brain.
So
Fuck
mean.
you,
The only animal
stupid
with
ass.
a tail on each end.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
It's like
it's not a tail, it's a trunk.
Yeah.
Remember when Deems and Fantasia were just going off on the T-Rex,
Yeah.
calling him an idiot, and like this is what this is like.
I know. It was so mean.
That's so funny.
Why are we so mean to animals? God.
As Mr. Benchley is giving out about the elephants, one artist decides to get back at him and starts drawing as he speaks. When Mr. Benchley grabs her drawing, we see that she has drawn Mr. Benchley's head on the elephant's body with a big ears and big nose and a ginormous ass.
He's a good sport though. He's
Well,
like ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I thought
becomes
the
like
same.
a reoccurring gag throughout the whole film.
Yeah,
and he
'cause he
laughs at
sucks.
it every time. So
Yeah, because he sucks.
the whole yeah, the whole class has a laugh at his expense, but he joins in on the laughter, and he even takes one more shot at them, saying, "You know, with a face like that, it's an improvement over the elephant." And the elephant's just like, "Fuck you, get out now," and roars at him, scaring him out of the room. Next, we see that Robert has found the music department. Inside a studio, a conductor orchestrates as a band, starts playing
this was
music.
like one of my least favorite
Really, I
parts.
was just gonna
I thought it was
say,
so
this one
cool.
was my favorite.
Yeah.
It was cool, but it went on forever.
Yeah, it did seem rather long.
Wait, no, this is just the orchestra. This isn't
Yeah,
the sound
yeah,
effects.
yeah.
Oh, I like the sound effects.
Yeah, I like
I
this one
forgot
too
about the
until the
orchestra.
freaking chicken lady came
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Anyways.
He takes a seat next to a gentleman who is spraying his mouth with water, and then a woman in a fur coat enters the room, and it's Florence Gill.
She literally looks like a chicken.
She kind of
Yeah.
does, yeah.
She does.
She's the voice of Clara Cluck, which is a short that we never saw.
Are you sure? Didn't we see one
No,
with the...
we saw the wise little hen.
Oh, is that her?
That's her.
Okay.
So that's what we know her from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft, slow music begins to play as they're soon accompanied by chicken sounds. Mr. Benchley is blown away to see that Florence Gill is the one making the chicken sounds herself. Next, a gentleman who had been sitting next to him this whole time gets up and joins her, and it's revealed that this is Clarence Nash, and he's the voice of Donald Duck. He joins in. The two of them, in their unique voices, sing a duet with the beautiful music behind them, and like I said, this just goes on forever.
Forever
And
and
ever.
ever and ever.
And ever and ever.
I mean, it was cool, and he's like, I make a pocket of air in my mouth, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean...
I can't do it.
Can anyone? No? Close
No.
enough.
No, it's not. Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Did you make a pocket of air?
I used my throat, really.
Wow.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, it was.
You're getting there.
That would sound like a little
I
like a
was-
drowning duck.
I was trying to say, oh, feel me, but it just wasn't working out.
Good try, Toya.
Thanks. Thanks, Alex.
Mr. Benchley then asks Clarence if he could talk like a dragon too, because he's showing his book to Walt. He asks how a dragon would sound, and Mr. Benchley then gets on all fours.
This was kind of funny.
And he starts to imitate a dragon. You know the video? I know you know it.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch
Yeah.
doing the
So-
Hobbit.
Have you guys ever seen? Okay, so in The Hobbit, there is the dragon Smaug, my tattoo, you know, on my foot. So like he does the voice, and he literally is like crawling around on the ground, Benedict Cumberbatch, and he's like, "I can smell you," like
And they've got a
really,
camera
really
in front of his
intense.
face because they use his face to kind of like resemble.
Yeah, they did like the
Effects,
CG
yeah,
mapping
yeah.
thing, like yeah, but it was so. It's funny to watch, but
Like-
this is what it kind of reminded me of.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
As he's doing so, we see Humphrey return, and he's not amused. He is
Fuck this fucking guy.
He's already had enough food.
Why am I in charge of these idiots? Like, come on.
He then escorts Robert back out onto the studio lot, and they head to Mr. Disney's office. On the way, Robert gets separated again when a bunch of props being escorted across the street break up the two, and Robert now finds himself in the sound department.
They were so rude, those prop handlers.
They were.
No, they don't have time for letting him get out of the way. He's just coming with them.
Like, it was just so ridiculous.
I know.
My goodness.
They're busy.
They got places to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
So
Movies to make.
The sound studio, it's this giant building with props everywhere, normal, everyday items. And as Robert's looking around, he's startled when he hears a train whistle say, "Hey, look out." He turns around and finds a woman who provides the voice of a train whistle using this
It's Casey
audio.
Jr.
It's Casey Jr. Yeah. She's using this audio distortion device.
Yeah.
It's called Solvanox, and
Put it
Picks up on your vocal cords, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it the box, I guess, for
Reads the vibration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
then-
way she was
you don't even
explaining it.
speak.
You don't speak,
Yeah, the way she was explaining it kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense because if you just mouth things,
Your vocal cords
don't move.
vibrate.
Like the whole point is to have
You
the
have to,
air
they have
come
to
out.
like a whisper, right?
Like this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, this is actually the voice this is how they would do the voice for Casey Jr. in the next film that's coming up, Dumbo. The woman doing the voice here is a studio artist named Doris. She's played by an actress named Frances Gifford. Frances provides the voice of Casey Jr. here, but in the actual film, it's not her.
Well, they actually
Well, she
did
says
say
it's not her.
Yeah.
They alluded to it later, but
She said, "I'm just filling in."
Yeah.
The real person went to the dentist.
yeah, the real person's Margaret Wright. So
She was
Was she on
probably
strike?
Doris
That's
shows
funny.
Robert how the device works, and he too makes the sound of a train whistle.
But he didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
No, he didn't know what to say.
A lot of pressure.
So he went really patriotic.
You really did.
What I also think is interesting, and I don't know if he's supposed to be the character Robert Benchley is supposed to be really famous director, but if you notice, everybody knows who he is.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
first
That's
time
what
they
got
see him,
me.
they always greet him "Oh, hi, Mr. Benchley." You know what I
I
mean?
feel like it was just because, I don't know, the, security guard, everybody on,
He sent out an all points
yeah.
memo.
Heads up, he's here.
Robert
Yeah,
Benchley's in the building.
I feel
Yeah.
like I agree with Hillary. That's kind of the impression I got. It was one of those things where it's like
I don't think
You
he was
would-
known.
yeah,
I think they
like-
just knew he was there.
I
yeah,
thought they were
you would think that it would be really hard to get an appointment with Walt, and that it would be really difficult. But the reality is, Walt gets no visitors, so when one shows up, everybody knows.
I got
Yeah.
time. This job is a joke.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just the impression I
I
got, but maybe not.
I thought they were going for this whole mood of everybody knows your name, oh yeah, we
Right.
all know you,
Oh.
Mr. Benchley, treating you like a welcome
Norm in
guest.
Cheers.
I didn't
Yeah.
get it like that because he seemed caught off guard that
Yeah.
people knew who he was.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe though. I didn't consider it that way. I didn't know he was a producer.
I think in this story he's supposed to be a director. Of
A
some
director,
kind,
I'm sorry.
or maybe a producer. I don't know. They're not really clear, but he's supposed to be in the filmmaking business in some way. Another worker hands Doris a sheet music, and the conductor calls for the lights to be turned off, and we see a screen star playing a cartoon of Casey Jr.
And we watched this whole entire short in the middle of this movie.
There's our first short. See, I like how you guys think you're gonna escape these shorts. No, even
That's
in
what I told
films,
Alex afterwards. I'm like, we just watched a bunch of shorts.
even in these films, you're still getting shorts. With
But I
fantasy.
really,
yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it though because when it started playing the different music and stuff, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's Dumbo.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And then I had to look it up on my
Yeah.
phone and show it to her. She's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Doris provides the voice of Casey Jr. in real time, and the workers provide the sound effects in real time using various props to create the sound. Interesting to note that the animation sequence we see here was not created for Dumbo.
No.
It's much longer. There's no markings on the train to indicate that it's from the circus.
From the
It's just a
circus, right.
regular train.
Okay, but can we just real quick though? Remember when you and I were watching it last night, and there were those guys making that noise, and they had those weird masks on. Mm-hmm. What the hell was that? They looked like they were part of the KKK.
They look like from Legends of the Hidden Temple. The
Yeah,
guys that jump out at you.
What the fuck? Why did they need
Had
those?
these gas masks on.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, and I was thinking this while I was watching it, and I agree with Mr. Benchley. At the end, he was like, well, it would have been easier to just record a real train.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. Why didn't they just do that? Why did they have to go through this whole...
Because the trains can't talk.
Okay, that part you could have done, but
They should have crashed it too. They got money to blow.
Yeah, if you look at all the steps, that guy sticking his head in the water, and then he's
Yeah.
coughing, and
Yeah.
then blowing in a bunch of different whistles, all the steps that go into it.
That's cool.
No, I agree, it's cool, but it probably would have been easier to just crash the trains, you know?
Scratching glass.
Well, you know what's interesting is that I always thought that they... I mean, I don't know if they changed now, but I always thought they made, like, the sound effects first. Or maybe they do they do the voiceovers first and then animate it and then you add the sound effects?
Well, it looks like here they animated it first.
And then you did the sound
and
effects.
then but that's a lot of pressure to match the sound to the... They have a whole Oscar category for that.
Yeah, imagine they like messed up the crash and had to restack
That's
those
what I
pots
mean.
and
That's
pans,
why
like,
it's definitely easier to just customize the sound, like to tailor it the way you need it to be.
I guess.
Yeah. Mr. Benchley leaves the sound studio and sees Humphrey is still looking for him outside. He detours into another room, and when he does, a green light shines on him, transitioning the film from black and white to now full Technicolor.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that.
It just
they were
kinda...
talking about it.
I know, but I didn't even, like, now that you said that, I didn't even realize that the film changed from black and white to color in the middle of
I thought that was cool, but I didn't understand why they did that. Like, why did they not just do the whole thing in color?
For
like,
fun.
to show the progression.
Yep.
Interesting.
He has wandered into the filming room. We see the multiplane camera that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's been used in other films already.
I'm pretty sure that was Bambi that they were...
It kind of looked like Bambi, like forest setting that they were showing. Doris is pretty quick on her feet because she's also in this room as well.
She's like, what are you doing here? And it's like, bitch, what are you doing here? Like,
What? Yeah.
aren't you the train?
Well, this is where she says that she's not the voice of the train whistle. She was just filling in because the original voice was at the dentist.
AKA on Shrek.
She asked Mr. Benchley if he'd like to view the camera himself, and reluctantly at first, he agrees to climb up and have a look for himself.
I think that's cool. I would have gone up there.
Yeah, he was, like, nervous.
Yeah.
Scared of heights.
We then see in first-person
Wait.
view. Yeah.
Did you sense, like, some, like, sexual tension between the two of them in this scene?
No.
I feel like they were very flirty.
The
I
camera
feel
guy up
like
top and
he's
Mr. Benchley.
creepy.
No, I mean,
Oh.
that lady. What's her
Mr.
name?
Doris.
Mr. Benchley is a fucking creep.
Yeah. Oh,
This
the background
American
looks
man-
great. This like this.
He was all about the ladies.
Yeah,
in this.
he was very creepy.
Yeah.
I felt like this scene especially was very...
And she was
I
just
don't know.
playing along because, like, you know, amiable woman, like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But
Anyways.
We get a first-person view of what Mr. Benchley is looking at through the camera. It starts out deep amongst the trees in a forest and passes through them, making it more three-dimensional and giving the sense that you're actually walking through the forest, coming out the other side.
wow,
It's really cool. I
it
didn't know
is.
that's how it works.
Oh yeah.
Is it still like how it works today, kind of?
Well, they don't hand-draw animation anymore. It's all computer animated, but
So
That's
no.
so sad.
yeah. But they did this for a while.
It's so crazy.
Next, he takes a look at the two-dimensional camera technique. An artist has a very long landscape background drawing, and along the way he uses cutouts of Donald in different walking positions.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, he's not even moving.
Yeah, and he actually is moving because what they do is they take like a celluloid frame and slowly move the background a little bit to the right, and they switch up the position of Donald and his feet, so when all those images are played together, it makes it look like he's walking.
Like
Yeah,
a flip,
which I
like a
knew-
flip book.
Yeah, like, and I knew that that's how it worked, but it was just kind of cool to see them
Yeah.
do
Showing it and doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mr. Benchley's not impressed. Donald comes to life and yells at him and argues and tells him
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
exactly what it does.
It's kind of funny that they, like, animated that
Yeah.
scene of how the animation works.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We get to
kinda
see the
cool.
final product,
Yeah.
him going to milk a cow and singing
Yeah.
Old MacDonald.
Yeah.
Old MacDonald.
I don't get what you said that last night too.
His name is Donald.
Oh.
Donald Duck.
He was like, Old MacDonald, and I'm like, yeah.
It didn't, like,
Oh, McDonald Duck.
Yeah, it did
Old
not.
MacDonald
It did
duck.
not make. I did not make the connection.
Over the intercom, we hear Humphrey calling out for Mr. Benchley as he is wanted in Walt's office still.
Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm laughing at this idiot Humphrey.
Oh.
Just dicking around all day looking for this idiot. Like, how many times do you have to lose the same
He
person?
lost a grown man.
Yeah, like multiple times. Like, come on, Mr. Benchley. Like, stop calling him. Maybe I'll find him. Mr. Benchley, he's running away from you.
He does announce where he is.
Come on.
Sneak up on him. Boom. Doris then escorts Mr. Benchley out of the room and through the lot, and he explains that he's trying to avoid Humphrey. Doris.
And she's like, oh wow, yeah, us too.
Yeah. Everybody knows Humphrey too.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we all avoid him.
He's the weird one. Be nice to the creepy guy at work. Did they not?
for real.
No.
They didn't get the memo.
No, they didn't.
Doris brings Robert to the rainbow room, which is where all the colors of paint are created and stored.
Dude, that room.
I
This
want to
room
be
was
in
one of
this
my
room.
one of
That
my
was
favorite
such
rooms.
a cool room.
Yeah.
Oh, in this room they had the gas masks too.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Because a lot
Understandably.
of those powders are toxic.
Working with
Yeah.
chemicals and
Yeah.
whatnot. Very interesting up until this point. It's been mostly men working in all these rooms, not the rainbow room. This is all women. It's like a
Yeah.
nursery.
Do the color work.
Yeah.
You know why, Dan? You want to know why?
Because they paid him cheap.
That, but also because women can see variations in color better
Yeah.
than men can.
No, they can't.
I
It's
definitely,
true,
I
it's a
definitely
sign.
can't.
He
I-
likes to
I
argue with me
agree
on
with you,
this.
Dan.
He's like, no,
No,
I
you
can
just see the
it.
color wrong.
No.
Right. That's 100%.
There's-
Excuse me. We took color theory together.
I know. We both took
Are
it.
you fucking kidding me right now? I will slit your fucking throat and watch all the different variations of red come pouring out of your
What color
veins.
is
What?
The wrapper.
It's orange.
Okay. We agree on that. What color is...
Yeah, what color is this?
Yeah, this.
Teal.
Dark green.
No, it's a scientific fact that more men are
Teal.
Listen,
colorblind than women.
it's teal.
I don't know what you're talking about with your pseudoscience over there, but...
That's definitely
He's
teal.
being such a dick.
Well, I
this
also-
is like an ongoing thing, and he knows that I'm
have
right.
a theory. I don't know if this is right or not. That people with like lighter eyes definitely see the colors differently than people with dark eyes. I don't know if that is a real thing. But me and Michael never agree on any colors.
You're wrong.
We can confirm my dad can't see shit with colors.
That's true.
Like,
So
alarmingly,
it would
he
make
doesn't
sense
know
that you
what
take
orange-
after him.
I don't take after him. I can see color. Look, all my notes are written in different colors.
That's nice. But I can see more shades than you can. You
Yeah.
can't see as many shades. Like I'll put two colors that are very similar next to each other and I'll be able to distinguish
Have you ever took
them
the
and
test?
you can't. Yes.
Like the shade test?
Yes, and I've given them to him and he fails.
Oh, it's hard for me to differentiate shades too.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm pretty good at it.
I'm really good at it.
I should also note that I'm a graphic designer.
It should also note that I also went to school for photography and technically I have more schooling than you because I also went for an associate's in graphic design. And yes, I didn't finish, but I still have more credits than you.
Look, all I know is that this rainbow room looks awesome, and I want to be in there.
Yes.
This is where I would want to
You
work.
can't just admit that I see color better than you though.
I think we both see color perfectly.
Me too. I think everyone sees color perfectly.
I hate all of you.
No, I'm on your side, Vicky.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry, because I
Thank
feel
you.
like I can't think of an example right now, but I know I've seen it firsthand where
Yeah.
Dan couldn't
Yeah.
distinguish two different colors.
Yeah,
Don't
what
ask me
you're
for an
talking
example, but I feel
So
like
does
that's
Dan
happened.
represent all men?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
If the graphic designer can't distinguish more colors,
I
than
can distinguish
can.
color.
By hovering over the color and seeing the numbers and everything for what it stands for isn't distinguishing it.
Yeah.
You distinguish it by your eyeballs.
I'm gonna edit the shit out of this. You have no idea.
He's gonna like cut.
I'm just gonna be
over
Team
it.
Dan.
He's like, Dan has the best
Yeah.
vision.
Yep.
Color.
Excellent.
Literally. Don't do that.
Do it.
Doris then shows Robert the lab where the girls add all the chemicals together to create the different colors. Hi Ho is playing in the background as we get like a color montage of them all being made.
Michael liked that part.
I like that.
We then see the animators using the fresh paint, the fresh paint that was made for different drawings that they're on. The drawing that we see being made is Bambi.
I feel
Yeah.
like they used a lot of paint.
They
for
did.
this.
You mean that one glob that she
Yeah.
put on? Yeah.
I was
agree
like,
with you.
whoa.
But that was because it was the back.
Yeah.
'Cause then they
when
flipped
she
it
flipped it
around.
around, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
They take the Bambi celluloid frame and apply it to a forest background, and then Bambi comes to life and starts prancing around and even hiding from Robert.
And there was
Yeah.
more flirtation in this scene.
Oh
too.
yeah, Robert hitting on
Yeah,
Doris.
he was like, oh, the background looked nice before.
Yeah.
Doris walks away while Robert begins to observe a bunch of different miniature statues of different Disney characters.
Did anyone recognize?
There's a bunch here. Anyone see?
There's from Fantasia was the one that he stole, right?
Yeah, and that one is from a deleted scene in Fantasia,
No, no,
right?
no,
Oh
no.
no, it's not.
We saw that.
Oh, we did see that one, but you know which
yeah,
one I'm
there was
talking
something
about,
that was
right?
deleted that it's not even on
Oh,
Disney Plus.
It's the one when, there's like a little. there's a smaller like little centaur, and she's like holding the
Yeah.
tail of the
red carpet, I think.
Yeah. That one was bad.
But there are current characters and upcoming characters that we see among all the statues. There's Captain Hook, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Mr. Smee, John and Michael Darling from Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
There's Aunt Sarah, Cy and Am from Lady and the Tramp, and Timothy Mouse from Dumbo. Is the last one to be placed on there. And then existing characters, there's Chernabog, Pluto's there.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting too, because at first I was like, why do they have all these? But then they said, they're like, so you can see the character from all angles, like, and know what to draw. I was like, oh, that is so smart.
It is smart. It's cool.
Mr. Benchley's looking at all the statues, and of all the characters on the shelf, he picks up the controversial topless zebra centaur from Fantasia, and he gets a good look at it too.
Yeah, we didn't see him take it, did we?
We
just noticed it at the end.
Yeah. A sculptor shows Mr. Benchley what she's been working on, and it becomes clear that she is sculpting an exaggerated face of Mr. Benchley himself, complete with droopy eyes and large nose on top of it.
It looked like he belonged like in the Haunted Mansion.
The singing bus.
And I thought it was like Eeyore at first with the droopy eyes and everything, and then when they put the nose on, I was like, oh.
I thought it was Jeeves from Ask Jeeves.
Okay.
It looked like it.
Right.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves.
The kids don't even know.
She sculpted it so fast.
Yeah.
It was a little uncomfortable.
All right. I know somebody at this table knows. Does anyone else know how they did the sculpture that fast?
Did they deconstruct it and then rewind it? Because that's what it looked like.
Yeah, they started out. Go ahead, Toya. Tell, because you.
They started out with his sculpture.
I want to give Toya credit because as we're watching it, she picked up on it immediately.
I picked up on it right away with the nose. Is then when I realized.
They sculpted it and they filmed, and then they filmed her taking it apart, and then they played it backwards to look like she was just putting it together really fast, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, you could tell by the way her hands are moving that it's being played in reverse.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Also, there's no way to like just kind of into.
And then it was like hard already. Like even he like was carrying it under his arm. And it didn't even.
The sculptor gifts the bust of him to Mr. Benchley.
Because really, what the fuck are they gonna do with it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And he takes it with him, and he escapes with Doris because Humphrey's lurking.
Yeah.
He's on the hunt.
He's sniffing him out.
Yep.
Mr. Benchley is in the next scene. He's now alone. He makes his way through the halls, and he encounters a nurse holding a baby bottle and food. And we then hear a baby crying from behind the story conference room.
And he's like, ha ha ha, imagine if that was real.
Yeah, it is real.
But it's just like, really?
Yeah. When he enters, he sees a bunch of animators observing a baby as they draw to get the mannerisms and features down.
Child workers' rights.
Well, they did enforce them pretty well.
They did, yeah. 15 minutes and then a break.
They were just trying to show, like, no,
Yeah.
we abide by the law.
Yeah.
So the 15 minutes are up, and they take the baby away to feed and nap and rest and whatever babies do.
I wish I got to work in 15-minute shifts. Damn.
Right?
Not babies. That baby portrayed in other movies.
Probably get so much more done.
No? That's not the,
Baby weems.
yeah, that's not like, it reminded me of like the baby Hercules a little.
You can kind of see
Maybe
that.
it did look familiar to me.
It looked really familiar.
know if
I
it's
had to look
familiar.
it up, and I just seen the one short.
What? What?
What's
No,
with the
because I figured out where they used it. Remember?
No, they haven't used this baby anywhere else.
No, but like the inspiration.
Oh,
for it.
it looks a... Go ahead.
There's two different things.
Go ahead.
Jack?
No.
That's another good one.
Oh, that's a good one.
The first one is it looks very, very similar to Michael from Peter Pan. Like the face.
Oh, okay.
A little more...
Right.
Yeah.
Like if Michael...
Yeah, it was a little bit older.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which I think is a little bit more spot on, is the baby animation from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't see that.
No one's seen that? Oh, that's a good one.
Have you seen Roger Rabbit?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
It's another
seen
hybrid.
anything.
You guys are gonna crack up. It's so funny.
I believe it.
Is that on our list?
Yep. It's a ways
You should-
away.
Way-
but-
you should
long
send
ways
It was
away.
on our list. I saw it yesterday. I got
Yeah.
so excited I didn't realize it was Disney.
What is?
The Sound of Music.
When we were talking about like the Dumbo and Bambi, it was like, oh, those are coming soon. Those are gonna be close.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So, when they take the baby away, the animators now notice Robert and ask him to take a seat as they want to get a fresh mind and a different perspective
On their
on a
storyboard.
story that they've been working. and we see the storyboard process, something that's still used to this day when they plan out movies.
We had to do that in art class.
You did?
It sucks.
Oh
remember?
yeah, we did have to do that.
Yeah, it did look very tedious.
It sucks.
It's basically just the whole story told through single frame sketches representing each scene.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And it takes forever.
But it like how else aside from putting a whole thing together, how else could you pitch your idea?
The story is called Baby Weems, and here we see a short. Yeah, our kind of like first short, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Being told from start to finish by the animator, to Robert, but he also acts as the narrator for the short as we transition from real life to the sketch in single frames. Opens up in a shot of a father nervously pacing outside a hospital corridor. Mr. Weems waits to hear the result, and then a nurse opens the door and says that it's a boy. A boy. In the hospital nursery, there are rows and rows of babies crying until we zoom in on the baby Weems.
Even though there are some very controversial babies drawn there.
Disney? Never. He's the only child in the nursery not screaming his head off. The nurse talks to baby Weems and remarks on how he is a quiet one. Just then, baby Weems begins to speak and perfectly says, well, there really isn't much to talk about. And the nurse is blown away by the newborn's ability and calls a whole bunch of doctors in for assistance.
Dr. Jekyll.
Dr.
Jekyll.
Medicine, I presume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of doctors. All the doctors observe the baby Weems and are blown away. News reporters and photographers swarm the hospital to see the miracle for themselves.
And the parents can't even see the baby.
So sad.
Yeah. News begins to spread, broadcasted all over the radio for the world to hear. And Mrs. Weems asks a nurse where her baby is, and the nurse says that he can't be bothered because he's in conference right now.
Yeah, he becomes like a political icon, wins a Nobel Prize.
He wins everything.
Yeah, he works with Einstein.
Father even tries to go to the conference, and he doesn't have a press card, so he's not allowed in to see his own son.
So sad.
Yep.
Then he gets sick.
And dies. Oh, wait.
The end.
Okay, so Dad can't get in.
Yeah,
Press conference.
they even go to a concert that Baby Weems is conducting, and they don't have tickets, and it's all sold out, so they can't see him perform at Carnegie Hall either. Mrs. Weems questions if they'll ever get to see him again, and the two don't know if they will.
And they were rocking a... They were rocking
Oh, that's-
something
yeah.
on the radio.
Yeah.
I know. That was so sad.
Honorary degrees, knighted Sir Herbert Weems, Medal of Honors, and even immortalized on Mount Rushmore. They only show Washington and Lincoln for some reason.
Yeah, seen that.
I don't know why, because like they were all constructed by this point. They only did those two, I guess, to make room for Baby Weems. In the audience of the theater where all these accomplishments are playing, Mr. and Mrs. Weems enter the theater and they are excited to see their baby on the screen, calling out, "That's our son! We're so excited!"
And they throw them out.
Yeah, everybody's annoyed at them now, so they just throw them out of the theater.
Dicks.
The President of the United States even calls upon Baby Weems to help solve the nation's gigantic problem. What that is, I'm not sure. They didn't say.
There's always a gigantic problem.
But regardless, Baby Weems answers the call and goes to Washington, where a parade is thrown in his honor. Mr. and Mrs. Weems are there, but they're on top of a gigantic building to observe.
But then he gets sick.
He does get sick. Just as they're about to make the major announcement that Baby Weems has... What is that? Oh, yeah.
I was looking at
Oh,
Baby
we're not up to that yet.
No, we...
Oh, did we pass that?
No, not yet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not up to that yet.
Just as they bring out Baby Weems to make his major announcement to Congress, it is interrupted, and the announcers inform everyone that there will be a slight delay, and chaos ensues as Baby Weems has been rushed to the hospital. His temperature has soared, and the tragic news spreads all over the world, and we get the lovely depictions of different parts of the world.
And his parents can't even go see him.
Yeah. There is a...
That's why that has that
Yeah, there's a
warning.
lot of really
terrible
stereotypical-
depiction of...
A lot of different people.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into which ones.
No, it's just bad.
It's like 2 seconds, but it's pretty
just
pretty
show
rough.
different cultures from around the world, because there was this one. I'm
That's
showing
the one.
images.
Yeah.
That's the really bad one.
That's
and it's
the
like,
There's this one too.
Yeah, that one's bad.
Yep. That one came
This one-
before. See,
Yep.
the thing is like all these are bad, and they came before the last one, which is probably the worst. Where it's just like, oh my god.
It's like
Yeah.
I looked at Alex literally when that popped up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, Are they serious?
If you really want to know, just go look for yourself. It's up there.
Just Google baby Weems.
Yeah,
really.
true. But the news spreads like wildfire, and while baby Weems is in the hospital, Mr. and Mrs. Weems are forced not to stay at bedside of their baby, but instead they're listening outside on a park bench
Yeah, it's so sad.
in the rain with a radio.
know.
Yeah. The broadcast comes through, though, to inform the world that baby Weems' temperature has begun to drop. It looks like he'll recover just fine. The news spreads everywhere. Baby Weems gets ready to deliver the announcement that he was set to deliver. And his major announcement is Gloggle.
Goggle. Goggle.
I know, and then people like immediately turned the radio off, and I was like, you never know. Keep it on for another few seconds.
Maybe Gloggle
Yeah.
meant something.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
Baby Weems has lost all ability to speak and now simply communicates in cries and coos, and the fickle public who once idolized him were soon to forget him. His face stripped of all advertising, his face blown off the side of Mount Rushmore.
So intense.
If we ever replace a face on Mount Rushmore, I hope they do it that way. They just put a dynamite on
I
it and just
know.
blow it up. Yeah. Baby Weems soon becomes a distant memory to all except for Mr. and Mrs. Weems,
Obviously.
Now,
They're so happy. I'm so
reunited
happy
with
for
their
them.
baby out of the spotlight, and they're able to enjoy an
It's not
ordinary
even
life.
reunited. It's just united because they've
they
never
never had
seen
the
the
baby.
baby.
True.
Yeah.
They're able to enjoy an ordinary life with their baby, as happy as they can be with a normal, happy baby.
Yeah.
And the camera fades back out to live action, where we see the animators and Mr. Benchley towards the bottom of the storyboard, and they too are wrapping up the story for him. Mr. Benchley goes to collect his things and tells the crew that he did enjoy the short and noted, and we see the running gag still going on here, where he picks up a drawing. Somebody has drawn Mr. Benchley's face as a baby.
Yeah.
Did that short ever appear anywhere?
No,
Okay.
that short was just made for this film. Never turned into a short on its own. It
Which
was
would have
just.
been a great short.
It would have been, but we saw it.
We've seen it.
I know, but, like-
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mr. Benchley leaves, and in the hallway, Humphrey is still searching for him. He is announcing his location for everyone to hear.
Humphrey's like, I got you, bitch. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. So Mr. Benchley goes and hides in another room. And this time he's entered another animator's room. Here he is greeted by a real-life Disney animator. It's Ward Kimbrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a real animator?
This is a real animator. Yeah, one that didn't go on strike. Or maybe he did, and he was just in the film and never saw himself. Mr. Benchley notices on the wall a bunch of famous paintings, but with Donald inserted in them, including the Whistler's mother, which is what we saw in Early to Bed, the last time,
Oh.
where he crashes through the painting.
Yep.
Yeah. Mr. Benchley observes over Ward's shoulder and notices that he is drawing Goofy.
This was my least favorite.
Yeah, this was kind of where I was getting.
Oh, I
my-
like this one.
Like, I like this short.
I like the
but
short, but I didn't understand like what were they doing that they showed like.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought they were showing him the new Goofy one that was coming up.
This one isn't in the short, though, what Goofy's doing here. It's just him dancing around. He completes a drawing of Goofy, and he puts it on top of a stack of papers, and when he flips through
But
them like a
that's
flip book, it's a
Yeah.
dancing animation of
This is
Goofy
kind of where the movie started to lose me, honestly.
towards the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just like a lot. And you guys know, we all know, watching these shorts, like 4 shorts in a row, is like it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that's literally all this was with like more fluff around it. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And I also feel like I don't know. We kind of know how animation works already, but we didn't know like the color and we didn't know the sound effects
Yeah.
and like how they like seeing them getting the inspiration for the animation, but like we
Right.
know how people draw things. Like
Right.
I don't know.
I guess back then they didn't like really.
I don't know.
Also, while this is going on, Humphrey is being given the riot act by his supervisor. He tells Humphrey, if you can't keep track of Mr. Benchley, I don't know how I can trust you with anything important.
Oh no.
Oh God.
So he's
Poor
off on
Humphrey.
his way to find Mr. Benchley again. Back in the animator's office, Mr. Benchley is being shown a Goofy short by Ward that will come out soon. It is How to Ride a Horse.
Will we see this one?
I don't know if we'll see this one, but it's the first Goofy how-to short that they made.
And I love those.
How to Ride a Horse. The narrator opens up by telling us that the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man.
Yeah, like what?
Anyone want to decipher that for me?
I don't know. It was weird, but also like they were saying it was good for the heart and the liver, and I was like, I don't know if any of that is true. I mean, like I'm sure horseback riding is like good for you. Like I don't think it's bad for you, but I don't know that it necessarily is like beneficial to your health in that way.
In that way.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
If anything, for a man, I feel like it's gonna crush your nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never been horse riding,
Nut
so I don't know.
crackers.
Either, yeah.
Really? I love horseback riding.
We should go at the Tri-Circle D Ranch.
Oh yeah, sure.
I like
Yeah.
it. I've been horseback riding a bunch.
I like my nuts better than horseback riding.
You just plop them on.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Just
hold on
treat
to
them
them.
right. Yeah.
Should I
Wear a cup or something.
Should I wear a cup?
You're not gonna go that fast where it's gonna hurt.
Intentionally.
but
You could ride side saddle. Like,
Intentionally, I'm not gonna
Like
go.
a
Yeah.
princess.
I will be a princess then.
But yeah, do you know? Did you look it up? What
No,
that means?
I have no idea what it means. I thought one of you might know.
No.
Goofy is introduced in his horse riding costume as the narrator goes over his gloves, hat, boots, and riding coat. The horse is next, the Aristocat of the animal kingdom, he
the
calls
horse is
him.
a dick.
Most magnificent of all dumb animals, he says.
I know, they're not dumb. They're very intelligent, but this horse is a dick.
Goofy begins his approach and greets the horse. The horse doesn't appreciate the patting on the head that Goofy does. Goofy then tries to win over the horse by offering him a carrot as an offer of friendship. The horse eats the carrot from Goofy, but can tell he has more, so he kind of aggressively pins him down on the ground, turns him over, spreads him out,
That was a little weird.
rips his pantaloons or whatever that's called from off of him. Next up is how to mount the horse. Goofy brings out a stepladder for assistance. He tries the horizontal approach, known as the up and over, but the horse isn't having any of it and slides out from underneath Goofy.
Yep.
All the time, the horse is just laughing at Goofy's expense too. Next is try mounting without the ladder and just using the stirrups. There is a right and a wrong side for mounting. The right side is the wrong side. The left side is right. Since the left is right and the right is wrong, we place the left foot with the right
this,
foot
like-
in the left stirrup, which is right, being the left, of course, since the right would be wrong.
Definitely.
Sorry,
Right.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that, like,
No.
you started going off, and I was like, stop, I can't follow it. I couldn't follow it then, I can't follow it now.
You put your left foot
In
the
Put your
left- in
foot
the-
out.
in.
You put your left foot in the left stirrup, you hoist your carcass up, and you fling your leg over to the right side and put your right leg in the right stirrup.
Cha-cha real smooth.
Yeah. That's how you mount a horse.
Goofy eventually does
But he's
mount
backwards.
the horse, but he's backwards. The narrator goes over the speed of the horse along with the man moving in perfect unison. When together, this is known as rising to the trot or posting. I don't know if that's true. That's just what he said. Now that we have the riding down, it's time for the hurdles. The horse doesn't want to jump over the hurdles, though. The horse shakes Goofy off of him, and the narrator informs us what to do if you have fallen off your horse, which is lie quietly.
Because a horse will never step on a fallen rider, apparently.
What?
But he will cannonball onto
Yeah.
you, apparently. As late afternoon sun slowly fades over the hills, we head homeward. The experienced horse rider also walks his horse to the stable. And just when the horse hears the word stable, he gets excited and he guns it and closes the door behind him as Goofy crashes into the stable doors,
That's okay.
with the short coming to an end.
Yep.
It was alright.
Yeah, I
Not
didn't
the
like
best
that one.
short.
I like the how-to ones, but that was a stupid one.
Yeah. They get better, I would say.
Yeah, they do.
Do you remember in 6th grade we had to like do write an assignment on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yes.
And it was like we had to be so explicit.
Yep.
And our teacher was so extreme. It was like, put the jelly on the bread, and then he would like be
Take
so
the whole jar of
of jelly
jelly
and just
and
like slam it on the bread. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
It's quite the writing assignment.
It was
I
very
guess it's just
interesting.
to like,
Get you to be descriptive.
yeah,
Yeah.
and to like show you that like
Details.
and you can't just assume that people are gonna understand what you're talking about just because it's like a very common thing. Like just because it's common for you doesn't mean it's common for everybody.
I see.
So
We go back to live action where Mr. Benchley and Ward are viewing the end title of the short. Robert then hears what sounds like a dog panting from behind.
It was so fucking
I know. I
creepy.
was like, must you?
He turns around and
Excuse you.
finds another real-life Disney animator. This is Norman Ferguson, who is panting in the mirror. He's trying to get the facial expressions as he draws Pluto. Then Robert joins him.
Yeah,
The two of them together.
You're just panting and looking at each other in the mirror. Like, it was just so
I
weird.
didn't
very
need to
weird.
watch that. No,
No.
really weird.
It was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humphrey then finds Mr. Benchley. He enters the room, and he tells him that Mr. Disney is waiting for him in his projection room, and this time he's going to follow Mr. Benchley so he doesn't get lost. Mm-hmm. In the projection room, we see Walt sitting among his workers. Humphrey introduces Walt to Mr. Benchley, and Walt asks Robert to sit and asks him if he wants to stay and view the short that they're about to view, which Robert agrees to do so.
And Walt's sitting very weirdly.
Yeah, he's got his legs folded up like
all,
one leg folded.
Yeah. It was all casual and whatnot.
You also mentioned it's kind of weird seeing Walt.
Young, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I picture the Disney World age of
he's
Walt.
like a young guy. He kind of does look like Mortimer Mouse here.
Yeah,
like I kind of see it now. Yeah.
That projection room thing, they still do that because when we watched that like behind the scenes Frozen thing, they were doing that, and I think it might actually be the same room.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walt says that he understands that Robert has an idea for him. And before Robert can get around to telling Walt what it is, the picture in the theater begins, so they decide to wait until after it's done playing to discuss it.
Good thing.
Well, not for Robert. The short on the screen takes over as we open long, long ago in a faraway land. There lived a brave little boy who considered himself an authority on brave, fearless knights and fire-breathing dragons that terrorized the countryside. As the boy is reading, a flock of sheep and his father go running by scared, and the father tells the boy that he saw a dragon himself and how horrible it was. The father runs off to inform the village, as the boy assures him that he'll go have a look for himself.
Yeah.
The boy comes across a cave.
Little ginger kid. I wonder how Alex felt about
I know, and his haircut was really
at first
funny.
I didn't realize he was a ginger, to be honest. I wasn't like paying all that much attention because I was starting to get bored,
This part was-
honestly.
yeah. This is
And then
exactly
it
where I
wasn't
fell
until the
asleep.
end that I was like, shit, that kid has orange hair.
It does look weird on his head. It just looks like a...
Like a bowl.
Yeah.
He looks like Lord Farquaad.
Yes.
The boy comes across a cave and with his slingshot goes to investigate. Outside the cave, however, in a nearby fountain, he hears singing and realizes that it is a giant green dragon bathing. The boy says hello to the dragon, which startles the dragon, and he assures him that he just came for a friendly chat, which the dragon is receptive of. The dragon tiptoes to dry himself off. The boy asks if he has any battles lately, to which the dragon says, of course not. The boy asks him if he does any desperate work of any kind, to which the dragon replies that he does make poetry, and asks the boy if he wants to hear.
And the kid's like, I mean, no, but sure, you're going to tell me anyway, aren't you?
I am going to tell you, Victoria. Just a drifting o' leaves, like a dewdrop fancy free, playing with the gentle breezes, romping with the bumblebees. Oh, what fun. Joy never ceases. Just the drifting.
Great.
Who voiced this dragon?
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Who voiced the dragon?
We actually looked this up, and it's not anybody who would
It's
mean
not who
anything
you
to
think it is. I guarantee you that.
It was really giving me Alice in Wonderland vibes.
I thought it was the Mad Hatter, but it
Yeah.
is not him.
Okay.
It is not the Mad Hatter, because that's immediately what I said, and
Yeah.
Dan looked it up, and he was like, no.
Okay, well,
Well, I would tell you the name, but I don't have internet right
Oh,
now.
I'm so sorry.
It's her.
Why didn't you write it down?
Yeah, 'cause
No,
didn't
I
think
can
it
look
was
it up.
important.
I don't really care who it is. I just wanted to know, is it the
Yeah,
Mad Hatter?
no.
Once I
it's
saw
not.
it wasn't anybody noteworthy, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
We're towards the end of this,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
the-
dragon person, if you're still alive.
Right?
Oh,
I
he's
thought
dead.
the kid wow.
Long gone.
I thought the kid was
After
somebody
that battle.
too. The kid is nobody.
Okay.
It's just a bummer. I thought the
Barnett Parker.
The boy,
I
I
thought-
remember. Billy Lee was his name.
Barnett Parker.
I thought that
Barnett
the,
Parker, of course.
The knight was somebody.
The dragon.
He's not anybody either. Really,
Yeah.
like
You know what I love about watching? I'm getting off topic. I'm very sorry, but I love watching all these shorts and seeing all these things. Cause like I feel like the next time I go to Disney World, I'm gonna see like little nods to these things.
You know,
like, I'll
I-
see like a pin or like something. You know?
I looked up if the Reluctant Dragon is anywhere in Disney.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for you to ask
Yeah,
us that
there's
too.
no Reluctant Dragon in Disney since like the 80s or 90s where
Where
he
it
was
used to be.
featured in a parade. That's it.
oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, people don't even know who Elliot is in the parade, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
From,
the dragon, Elliot
Peach
from
Dragon.
Peach Dragon,
He was in the Main Street Electrical Parade.
and Pete rides on his head.
uh-huh.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "Say hi, Elliot," and he's all.
But yeah,
He's the green one with the purple spots.
Okay.
you've definitely seen that.
I don't think I've ever seen the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Oh,
I think
I don't
that's
think I've
why.
ever
You've
seen
definitely
that parade
seen him on
either.
like a pin or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reluctant dragon's like nowhere to be found.
Well,
Interesting.
he kind of sucks.
He does kind of suck.
Well, yeah, it does, but it's just yeah.
The boy informs the dragon that he's in for trouble, as his father is rounding up the village and they're coming for him. He's an enemy to the human race.
Damn.
The dragon doesn't want to hear it.
We know all about how terribly people react to enemies of the human race.
Yeah.
Well, he says he doesn't have an enemy in the world. The boy walks off, seemingly frustrated with his encounter because this dragon was not as he had read in his book. Back in the village, Sir Giles the Knight has rallied up support of the town, and it is clear that he will be the one to kill the dragon. The boy races back to the dragon, where he is comfortably sitting playing his flute with the birds. The boy informs the dragon Sir Giles is coming with a long sword and spear, and the dragon will have to fight him. But the dragon isn't really interested. He doesn't want to fight.
doesn't
Yeah,
wanna fuck
It's
that.
too much work for him, he said.
Yep.
So the boy goes back to the village to meet with Sir Giles, and much to his surprise, Sir Giles is an old man.
Yep.
A lanky
Yeah.
old
Who
man.
looks very much like the Duke from Cinderella, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just got
He
white hair.
really
but he
does.
looks, yeah. The boy informs Sir Giles that the dragon won't fight, which annoys Sir Giles. He says he too is a poet, though, and the boy realizes from this encounter that the boy and the dragon...
He goes, I am a bit of a bard myself.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
Either way, though, the boy realizes that the knight and the dragon are not what his book would tell him that they are, and they're a bit of a letdown for him. The next day, Sir Giles and the boy go to the dragon and interrupt his picnic that he's having. The two join the dragon, and it is here where the dragon made aware that the person joining him and the boy is in fact Sir Giles, which turns his mood sour, and he wraps up his picnic. He doesn't want to share with them anymore. Sir Giles explains that he'd been looking forward to meeting the dragon, though, because he heard he's a poet. He asks the dragon to recite, which he is excited to do. He recites to an upside-down cake. I didn't write this one, don't worry. I didn't care about
upside
this.
down cake.
Yeah.
And then all of you were like, what's an upside down cake? And
Yeah.
I was like, are you guys
Well,
for
you never
real?
told us. I just know what a pineapple upside down
That's
cake is.
basically
Okay.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what an upside down cake is.
There was no
Oh.
frosting on it.
You take a cake and
I
you
didn't say
put frosting and you
Dan did.
flip it over.
Oh, you said frosting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, and I
sounds
was like,
gross.
no, there was no
There's
frosting.
no frosting.
Sounds gross.
Dan.
I
Daniel.
love upside
What kind
down
of
cake
cake
to see
doesn't
if there
have
was
frosting?
something other
Right?
than a pineapple
No,
one, and I
it's
would have
like-
made it, but
I mean, they do have like other ones, but like the pineapple.
different.
I
It would
feel-
be like fruit or like
yeah, it's
something
always
weird.
fruit. Yeah, yeah, which you guys don't like.
I don't like fruit in my snacks
Why? Sounds so
because
good.
I just want something that's gonna make me fat for a snack.
Yeah.
I don't. If I wanted fruit,
You
it
eat
wouldn't be a
fruit.
snack.
It
would
wouldn't
just
be a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It would-
cake is for chocolate, vanilla, funfetti. That's it.
No.
I don't want
No.
fruits in my cake ever.
My
No.
birthday cake was a lemon chiffon cake.
I would hate it.
You have a lemon birthday cake every year.
My mom makes lemon cakes. I don't request it.
She just does it and she doesn't
just
ask
does
you?
it. You know what's so funny is because when Jaime first met my family, like way back, he like had this like running joke where he'd be like, "Wow, Diane, lemon cake is my favorite. Your lemon cake is so good." And from that point on, whenever we had some type of celebration, I was like, my mom's always like, I have to make a lemon cake for Jaime. Like, I have to make one. And then maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, he finally was like, you know, I don't really like. It's like they're good. It's good, but it's not like my favorite thing on the earth.
That's such like a mom thing to do. One person compliments it, so now for the rest, I have to make it for
She
them.
always makes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw,
That's cute.
Yeah.
I like. Well, my lemon chiffon cake was very, very good.
It was
I like a
good.
lemon cake, but
My mommy makes me a chiffon cake every year on my birthday. Usually it's orange, but this year I requested lemon.
oh,
Yeah.
orange. Wait, so would it be an orange chiffon cake?
Yep.
So are there pieces of orange or lemon in it?
It's like zest, the zest,
Oh,
and the
okay.
juice.
See, like that's different. I could do that. A pineapple upside down cake with like has like slices of
Oh
pineapple.
yeah, no, this doesn't have that.
I could not do that.
That sounds so good.
Ugh, I don't even
Shut
like
the hell up,
pineapple.
Michael.
Good
After
times.
reciting to an upside down cake, Sir Giles recites his own poem as well. It's a poem about a radish.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Did you write it down?
No.
Do people actually put salt on radishes though? Is that like
I don't know because
appetizing?
have you ever eaten a radish?
like cooked?
They're really, really hard.
Yeah.
like raw.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't just bite
like
it
they
into
don't
it. No.
break your teeth.
I know, but that's what it looked like he
Yeah.
was doing in the
Also, I
poem.
don't know why you would put salt on it because they're kind of spicy.
Why is it spicy?
Exactly. But yeah, like I don't know. I feel like that's weird, but whatever, bro. You do you, sir.
When he finishes, the boy asks if he can recite one too. This one I wrote down. 'Tis evening, from the stars above, a soft mysterious light brings thoughts of friendship, joy and love. Now how about that fight?
Okay. I was like, why are you looking at me like that?
I didn't know if you were going to finish it.
No, I didn't remember the last line.
The request alarms the dragon, who refuses to fight still. He storms off and refuses to listen
And he's, like,
anymore.
holding his hands and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Giles and the boy try to entice the dragon by remarking on how beautiful a sight it would be for everyone to gather and to throw flowers at the feet of the dragon. They assure the dragon he won't get hurt, and they'll fix the fight tomorrow, which the dragon reluctantly agrees to. Tomorrow, they will fight.
Hence
And then he's
name
like, "Oh,
Reluctant
fuck."
Dragon.
He said that.
He did.
Went, oh, fuck.
He did at the end. He was like,
He was like walking back,
Yeah.
skipping back.
yeah,
and
he was like, guys! And they're like, no, it'll be fine.
no backsies.
Yeah.
Bye.
Like, didn't hear you, bye.
The next morning, crowds have gathered to see the fight. Sir Giles arrives on his horse to cheers from the crowd. The dragon inside the cave with the boy says he can't go through with it, and he can't even breathe fire.
Well, that's why he was like, oh, fuck, last night. Because, like, the night before, because he realized that he can't breathe fire, because you have to be mad to breathe fire, and he's not mad.
Well, he's gonna get mad. Because the boy calls the dragon a punk poet, not a real dragon, which angers the dragon, and he spits out fire.
Yeah.
The dragon now comes out of the cave, breathing fire and scaring all the villagers. Sir Giles charges at the dragon with his spear, but the dragon dodges.
Yep.
He tries again, but blows a cloud of smoke, causing Sir Giles to miss again. He chases the dragon back into his cave, swinging his sword as the crowd hears crashing and sees smoke coming out from the cave. Inside the cave, we see Sir Giles and the dragon faking the fight as they fan fire to create smoke and bang on pots and pans. Sir Giles then chases the dragon back out of the cave with his spear. The dragon charges back at Sir Giles with his tail as a spear as well, and the two are...
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was cute, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do with that, bro?
They charge at each other as the crowd cheers on. The two crash into each other, creating a giant cloud of smoke for distraction, where in reality, inside the cloud of smoke, the two are actually dancing with each other and they mimic the sounds of battle.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, what the hell? Why were they dancing?
Because
They're friends.
Because they were supposed to make it look like a kerfuffle.
They're two
Yeah.
gentle souls.
Yeah.
The time has come for the dragon to die, and he's very excited about this. the dragon. So Giles places his spear underneath the dragon's armpit as he cries out in pain for the crowd. He acts like he's dying before falling to the ground in defeat, and the villagers celebrate Sir Giles in victory.
Okay. But he's dead, yeah?
Yeah?
I mean, like, we know he's really not dead, but, like, they all think he's dead.
These villagers are under the impression that Sir Giles has slayed the dragon. Fast forward. Sir Giles completely reformed the ferocious dragon, whereupon the satisfied villagers now welcome him into society.
They thought he was dead!
I don't know how he managed to explain this one to all
Yeah.
the villagers. I
Wow.
resurrected the dragon, and he's now one of us.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Well, regardless, it appears to work. The dragon joins them all for dinner, where they sing for "He's a Jolly Good
It's like
Fellow."
the Grinch.
Yeah,
And he carved the roast beast.
and they sing for "He's a Jolly Good Fellow" as the short comes to an end. And then to conclude the film, we go back to
Hated
live.
this ending.
We go back to live action, where Mrs. Benchley has picked up Robert from the studio as they drive home. While he was shilly-shallying around the lot, Walt Disney, in fact, had enough time to make the reluctant dragon himself.
Yeah.
She was so pissed at him.
Mom!
She was pissed at him.
Yeah, she was like, I gave you one
think
job,
about
bro.
Yeah.
And you just
Go
go
get
dick around all
But
day.
you know what?
The problem
She shouldn't
is
have
that-
left him.
Yeah.
But also...
He didn't even want to do it.
But also, like, it's not like he made it in one day. Like, that definitely had been being worked
The
on.
implication is that he made this in one day.
Yeah, while he was off.
That makes
Looking
no
at
sense.
everything.
Yeah, that makes no sense. But okay.
But you know what? Like, she knows her husband.
So
and
did
she
Walt
should have
steal?
stayed with him, and this would have been done in
so
like...
the shortcomings of one person is now the responsibility of the other person?
No, but
Well,
like...
it was her idea, and she's the one who wanted him to do it.
I mean,
so
that-
if you
that's
want something
valid.
done,
You do it yourself.
That's
I
valid.
swept it all up.
That's valid, but to say that she knows her husband, so she should have done it, like, no.
Okay, fair.
He's a responsible adult.
No,
and
he's
that's-
not. He was in.
he was worse than a child.
Ducks. He is not a responsible adult.
he should be a
But in
responsible
theory, he
adult.
should be a responsible.
But it's also
adult.
like, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
So did Walt
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
steal the idea?
Done it.
Yeah, she should have.
Well, I don't
She
know
should've.
if Walt stole the idea, but he had the idea.
How did he get it?
I don't know. How did they get it?
From the book.
Maybe he had the book too.
See, it would have made more sense if he like left
it
the
was
book
there-
behind
right.
or something.
When I went back and watched it again, I was like, maybe he
still-
left the book somewhere. Walt saw it and was like, oh, we should make this a short.
Yeah.
But he had the book with him the whole
whole
time.
time.
Unless, when he told one of the first people he met, they went off and told Disney, hey, I got this great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of those in the elephant room.
Oh yeah.
Trying to
Maybe.
get ahead, trying to get ahead in the
Yeah.
company.
Maybe.
Maybe it was our good old buddy.
It was
Humphrey?
Clarence Nash. You can't trust him. We go back to so Miss Benchley berates Robert and can't believe he managed to mess this up. She asks Robert if he has anything to say for himself, and Robert replies,
In Donald Duck's voice, right?
phooey.
Yeah.
I can't do Donald.
But
You
he's
can do
got like
Donald?
all of his shit in his
No.
arms.
Yeah, like his sculpture of
Yeah.
himself.
So he got some souvenirs out of this.
Yeah.
Like a big kid. He had a good
I
day.
was just gonna say he had a great day.
So the movie comes to an end, and Disney wins again. Chalk went up for Disney.
The Mickey overlords.
So, closing thoughts. Anyone want to go?
I feel like the backstage part was cool. Like I liked
Yes.
seeing all that stuff, but like I didn't need the shorts in there. Like I understand why they did it, but I didn't need it. And also I hated the Reluctant Dragon short. I thought it was so
Yes.
fucking
I think they could have left that whole part out.
You can
Yeah.
make an argument that the title of this movie, the namesake for this movie, was probably the worst part of it.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. They should have. I don't know.
I would have
The
been okay with
reluctant
them.
Robert would have been better.
Yeah, right.
Or
mean-
Richard, if you're
The
Dan.
reluctant Robert. Yeah, whatever.
The
Whatever his name
reluctant
is.
stick.
It probably wouldn't have done as well, but I kind of would have preferred if they just made this an hour-long documentary behind the scenes at Walt
Yeah.
Disney
Yeah.
Studios.
And like explained everything.
Yeah.
To us rather than like making it fun. I don't know.
I got a good laugh when I saw that this was going to be a bunch of shorts. I was like, I got him again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you did get us
definitely
a ton.
short.
Definitely did. Because
You had us thinking that this
last
was just a
podcast, we're like,
movie.
oh, we have a movie.
Yeah, and I was like,
Another-
oh, it's an hour and 14 minutes. It's so short. I can sit through this.
Yeah.
After, like, once it started getting to the real dragon part, I was like, oh, no.
That's another one. Another one for Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like the whole thing. Oh, I can make a 10-hour movie, or I can make 10 episodes in a series, and I bet you'll watch all 10 episodes in one series.
But I will say, though, that, like, I'm actually glad it did turn out the way it did, because if they did an hour-long movie of The Reluctant Dragon, I would have...
Yeah, that would have been
Watch it,
really,
yeah.
really
Well,
good.
it's
Yeah.
funny because when I looked up the Reluctant Dragon and you see like the image, I guess, for it, it looks like it's gonna be cute.
Yeah.
It gave me like Sword in the Stone vibes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid reminded me of Wart
yeah.
from
Sword and
Sword in the
Stone.
Stone.
I also thought it was kind of interesting to see, like, some faces for, like, names that we've been mentioning already.
Yeah.
Like, Walt, we know what Walt looks like.
Yeah, but
But, like,
like
Clarence Nash and Ward Kimball,
Yeah.
we've been saying their names.
And the
so
chicken
that's
lady.
The chicken lady, right?
Yeah.
She really did look like a chicken.
I can
And
understand.
she didn't even speak anything. She just kept
She
talking
laughed.
like a chicken.
At one point, she just laughs
Yeah.
in a regular voice.
That's so weird.
Like, I can understand why at the time they didn't like this, because they probably felt they were being gypped out of, like, a new Disney feature. But, like, I think now, going back and look at it, I think it's kind of interesting to see how this stuff worked back then.
Yeah.
I like
It's,
it.
like, kind of cool,
cool.
information-wise
It
to
was a
see.
lot of work that went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And if you're not interested in the shorts at all and you just want to see behind the scenes like early Disney, you can knock this out in like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
don't
just
even have
watch
to
the first few.
shorts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so are the shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Overall, I'd say I think it's interesting to watch.
I would recommend it to somebody.
Yep.
Yeah, I would if you're interested to see how this animation stuff works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we're traumatized with all the shorts. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
And on another audience, it might have been received a little better, I feel
Yeah.
like.
I really didn't mind the shorts. It was just the ending that got boring.
So, yeah.
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 I'm just mad. I wish that we could have seen like how did his interaction with Walt Disney play out? You know, it just
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
after the...
Yeah.
when they came
Like,
back.
what did he say after?
Yeah.
Like, did he say, "Oh, you got my idea already," or did he just
He
like
probably
make
didn't-
something up
was
on
he
the
like,
fly?
never mind.
Oh,
just
yeah,
wanted-
because what was his idea? Walt knew he had an idea.
yeah,
He probably just said that. And Walt was like,
he did it.
get out. I beat you to it.
You did it already. Yeah. So
But yeah, so that's The Reluctant Dragon. Not bad. Good job, everyone.
7 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah.
7 out of 10? Yeah,
Yeah,
alright,
about
7 out of
that.
10. Yeah, I'd say that.